Good morning and welcome into the Lifeline Morning Show. I'm Steven. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. You know, I love getting your day started off on the right foot. And to help with that, I use an inspiring quote. And this morning's quote is one I want you to carry into the weekend, like a quiet anthem in your heart. It's not how fast you go, but that you don't stop. That's it right there. This week, we've talked about faithfulness when it's quiet, obedience when no one's clapping, and the power of showing up, even when it feels small. And today, I just want to celebrate something with you. You're still here, you're still moving, and you're further than you think. I was reminded of that truth earlier this week when I looked back at the May 6th episode of this very show. You know, when I hit record that morning, I had no idea it would become the most listened to podcast of the week. No viral moment, no big push, just a normal Tuesday. And a reminder that faithful steps still lead to big miracles. I didn't feel like I was doing anything special that day, but God was doing something behind the scenes. And maybe that's where you are right now. You've been faithful. You've been kind. You've been consistent. And you're wondering, is it even working? Today's word of life, wow, that's for you. From Job 8, verse 7. And though you started with little, you will end with much. You might not be where you want to be yet, but you are not where you started. And that, my friend, is something to celebrate. So this morning, let's flip that script just a little bit. Instead of focusing on what you haven't accomplished yet, let's take a moment to look at how far you've come. So right now, I want you to think about it. What are you proud of this week? Even if no one else sees it. It could be something simple. You held your tongue. You made the call. You got out of bed and tried again. That counts because it's not how fast you go. It's that you didn't stop. And thank you so much for hanging out with me right here. I'm so glad we get to do life together. Now, I want to celebrate with you. So whatever that is that you're happy about, that you're proud of this week, I would love to hear from you. Text me, 256-967-0885, and let's talk about it. Because you know what? We need that. We need that conversation. We need to be able to tell each other what's going on in our lives. Hey, I'm really proud about this. You know, I didn't think I could do it, but I took that step. And wow, at the results. 256-967-0885. Or you can call me up. I'd love to hear your voice. That's 256-505-0885. Sound good? All right. Hey, thanks so much for hanging out right here on the Lifeline Morning Show. Now I think we need a little crowder. And somebody prayed.
How many of you, when something really great happens in your life, you sometimes lower your energy about it because you don't want to make somebody else feel bad? How many sometimes do this? You know what it does? It teaches your brain it's not good to feel too happy all the time. And that's the wrong thing to train. So let's do this. If you want to experience more joy, I've done this with athletes, business people, and in the beginning they think it's juvenile. And then after about doing it for 10 or 20 times, they're like, oh my God, this is fantastic. When you get in a place where you've lost some of that energy, what you need to do is part of what you guys teach, which is the celebrate part. Very few people celebrate, but most people wait till an unbelievable thing happens to celebrate. If you wait till that happens, you're not going to be happy. Most people don't need a reason to feel like crap. You say to somebody, how you doing? They go, feel like crap. How come? Woke up. You don't need a reason. How many of you have plenty of things in your life today that if you focused on them, you could feel so grateful, so excited about your life? Then here's what you want to do. You don't want to wait to achieve your goal and then celebrate. You want to celebrate so much, there's so much energy, and your goals just happen.
But who turns a broken dream into a life redeemed? Who can turn your worst defeat into your victory? Who saw me where I was and led me where I stand? My life is living proof that only Jesus can.
Arab in Albertville just happened to be, kissing that 70-degree mark. It's 72 right now in Scottsboro and Coleman and Blunsville, and it is 74 already in Huntsville. Now let's talk about your word of life. Short, sweet, to the point, and my goodness, this is a reason to celebrate. You ready for it? Job chapter 8, verse 7 in the New Living Translation of the Bible. And though you started with little, you will end with much. Oh, I love that. But you know what? As you dig a little deeper into the whole book of Job, you find out what exactly Job had to go through to get from the little to much. There's quite a lot in there. I'm just saying. I heard this little guy. He was probably maybe 8, 9 years old, and he was going around to different churches, and he was preaching. I mean, they were really getting on board with this little guy. And they asked him, they said, "What's your favorite Bible story?" He said, "Well, I think it's Job, because he got double for his trouble." You know what? There was a whole lot of trouble, but he's right. He walked into much from the little. And so I don't know what that looks like in your life. I don't know what kind of chaos might be erupting, what kind of things might be going on around you, but I know that we have a God who's able to still the storm. He's able to calm the chaos. And so I know that he is making sure that you are making it through because, hey, look, you're here. You're listening right now. You have put your faith front and center, and that's worth celebrating. So keep your head held high. Let's keep moving forward together. Sound good? All right. Thanks for hanging out with me here on the Lifeline Morning Show. Now go and share that word of life with somebody else. Encourage them, okay?
Feels like I'm looking for a reason, roaming through the night to find my place in this world, my place in this world.
One thing that I've learned is as you're endeavoring to do great things, it's really a lot of hard work off the top, right? Trying to get to that first victory, trying to finally do the thing you set out to do. And then, wow, it happens. But it took so much work to get there. And you don't know if you have it in you to make it to the second win. Well, let me tell you something. Momentum begets momentum. Yeah, once you get that speed, once you get that power, once you get that oomph behind you and you start pushing forward and then you hit that victory, it's going to be a little easier to hit the next. And with a little more insight on this, well, the principle, here's Myron Golden. And wow, he really has a grasp on this.
When you start to do something good, the first thing that shows up is something hard. And so we're resisting having to get to our second win. Once we get to our second win, you know, they have a thing called a runner's high, right? And you get to a certain point, you get to a certain point, you feel like you're going to die. And then once you get past that point, you feel like you're going to live forever, right? But most people, in most of the things that matter in their life, they don't go long enough or far enough or fast enough to break through to that runner's high.
So let's get there. Let's keep that momentum going. It's going to be worth it. It might be hard, but that's okay. We can make it. Why? Well, because we're not alone. Hey, here's a song for you. This is from Brandon Lake. Brand new from him. Just came off his brand new album that's not even released yet. It's called Sevens.
Wake up, the time is come.
Hey, stick around. Coming up here at the top of the hour, we've got a car line competition. Going to be starting off with 6 gift cards this morning. Are you going to win them? We'll find out at the top of the hour. But for now, how about some We the Kingdom and Don't Tread on Me? I'm really into these aggressive songs this morning. Have you noticed that trend?
Oh no, you done it now. Gone against the king, gone against the crown.
Well, you know what? I think it's time for us to share a little love with our teachers. Yeah, because you know what? Right now at the end of this year, all of the kids, well, they're getting really excited, but the teachers, they're the ones who have to wrangle all these kids. We're so excited about summer, but you know, there's some heartfelt stuff that you need to remember today as teachers. And so here, I want to give you a little reminder. See what you think of this.
Teachers, you're almost there. The grades are wrapping up, the posters are coming down, and the room is getting quiet. But your impact isn't. This isn't just the end of the school year. It's the closing chapter of a story God wrote through you. This year has had nothing more than 1,000 little moments of redirecting chaos, whispering encouragement, and showing grace on days when you had none left to give. You didn't just teach, you studied, you protected. You stood between the kids and the world, reminding them, maybe even for the first time, that someone believed in them. You weren't just in charge of curriculum. You were covering lives in prayer, sometimes with words, sometimes with presence, and sometimes with nothing more than a smile that said, I see you and you matter. And now, God's not just calling you to rest, to that summer break. He's inviting you to slow down, to exhale, to stop carrying what He already finished. But before you close that door, finish strong. Not for test scores, not for applause, but because your faithfulness still matters. There's still a student who needs your smile. Still a moment left to speak life. And still time to remind one more kid you made it too. You're not crawling to that finish line. You're walking in victory, not because of it being easy, but because you never stop showing up. Rest is coming, but first, let faithfulness carry you to that last bell.
I want to give a big shout out to Lucas and to Ella on Miss Charlotte's bus this morning. I hope y'all are having an amazing day so far. I think it's time for us all to do a little dance.
Oh Lord, I need you now more than ever. Would you put my heart back together? I searched the world till my head hurt just to find out your ways better.
Say it with me in 3, 2, 1. Give me the horn! All right, now let's go ahead and crank that engine, and then let's start that music so I can say, hey everybody, it's time to play the Car Line Competition. Your chance to win some gift cards this morning, but how many, Steven? Well, you see, usually it's just 3, 1 to keep, 2 to give away, but we had some pretty awesome people play yesterday, and guess what? We got a little bit of a train rolling through this morning, so 6 gift cards up for grabs on this first question. As always, it is a Bible trivia question, an open book Bible trivia question, I might add. And so with that in mind, you ready to get this thing started? All right, let's go. Your first question, you're going to find this all the way back in the book of Daniel. Okay, Daniel chapter 5, verse 5. Okay, here we go. Which king saw the writing on the wall before his kingdom fell? Was it A, Nebuchadnezzar, B, Belshazzar, C, Darius, or D, Cyrus? 256-505-0885 is the number to call. Again, you're going to find this in Daniel chapter 5, verse 5. That's where you'll find the writing on the wall. Daniel 5, verse 1 is where you're going to find the king's name. But hey, I've got a caller already. Stay right there on the phone line with me while I start this song, and I'll get your answer. It's Jordan Feliz, and praise God for that right here, right now on the Lifeline Morning Show. Good morning.
Good morning.
What's going on, Richard Udi?
Doing fine.
I'm glad to hear it, man. All right, so I got a question for you. It's about the writing on the wall. Which king saw the writing on the wall before his kingdom fell? Was it A, Nebuchadnezzar? Was it B, Belshazzar? Was it C, Darius, or was it D, Cyrus?
Well, I got 2 in mind.
Okay. What's your first one?
The first one will go with Belshazzar.
Belshazzar. Dude, congratulations. You just got it right. 6 gift cards, man. What do you think about that?
I like it, but I'm going to keep that train rolling.
All right, man. I can hear in the background. Those 6 now become 9. You rock. Hey, you want to shout somebody out just for the fun of it?
Well, I'm going to shout out my wife and the kids, because
Awesome.
they've been there and they're keeping me going. They help me out a lot.
Yeah. Well, man, I think that's awesome. You got a pretty cool family, huh?
Yes, I do.
All right. Well, thanks so much for being part of our family here on the radio. I sure hope
Always.
you have a great weekend, sir.
You too.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
All right, bye-bye.
That's how it's done. Those 6 gift cards now rolled over to 9. That's a lot of love to share with a lot of people. So you want to try to win? All right. We're going to swap over to some Disney trivia now. And here we go. In The Lion King, what is the name of Simba's mother? Is it A, Serafina, B, Nala, C, Sarabi, or D, Zira? 256-505-0885 is the number to call. Again, it's all about The Lion King. What's the name of Simba's mother? Was it A, Serafina, B, Nala, C, Sarabi, or D, Zira? 256-505-0885. Call me up, let me know, and guess what? You could win 9 gift cards. There's my caller. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good.
Glad to hear it. So what's going on this Friday?
Oh, we're just getting ready for work today.
All right, I got you. It's going to be a good
And you
day.
had to pull out Disney on us this morning, so... oh, Gracie Bay! Steven pulled out some Disney.
All right, well, here we go. Here's the question I have for you. In The Lion King, what is the name of Simba's mother? Is it A, Serafina, B, Nala, C, Sarabi, or D, Zira?
B, Noah.
B, Nala is not correct.
Oh, no!
Listen carefully.
I must have needed help.
Simba's mother, not
Simba's
girlfriend.
mother.
Simba's
Not
mother.
girlfriend.
Okay, so with
Hey, I should have called for your help.
with that in mind, though, I give you 2 shots. So now you know it's not Nala. So what is it? Is it A, Serafina? Is it C, Sarabi? Or is it D, Zira?
You got me on that one. I'm not sure that I can even get this one.
Now-
I guess I don't pay as much attention as I thought I did to the Lion King.
No, I threw Nala in there because I knew it might pique some interest there because everybody
Oh,
thinks
yeah.
everybody thinks of Nala, but Nala's not the right one. So is it Serafina, Sarabi, or Zira? 9 gift cards on the line. Dun dun dun.
You know this is the answer. You forgot the answer? I forgot what. Okay, this is total a guess. Let's go with D.
D, Zira?
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm so sorry. You didn't get it this time. Oh.
It's perfectly fine. I was going to keep that train rolling anyway, so let's give somebody else a shot this morning.
Sounds good. All right, we'll do it. Thanks so much
You
for
have
calling.
a great day. Thank you.
All right, you too. Bye.
Bye.
Wow, sometimes you think you just know it and you don't know it. I hate when I do that too. Oh my. But hey, that train is still rolling. We got 9 gift cards up for grabs. Do you know the answer to my question? In The Lion King, what is the name of Simba's mother? Is it A, Serafina, or C, Sarabi? 256-505-0885. There's my caller. Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good.
Good. This is the one and only Rain.
Yep.
Yep, I knew that voice. Are we getting excited about the end of the school year?
Yes, I am.
All
I
right.
think we only have like 4 days left.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, Awards Day is coming up, what, on Wednesday?
Yes.
Yeah, and I think that's like the last day of school, so
Yeah,
wow.
it is.
We're so
But
close.
you can come back the next 2 days, but you won't be doing anything.
Right, yeah. So how's everything going with Taekwondo?
Good.
Good. Are you still dangerous out there?
Yes.
All right. What belt are you up to now?
I'm still a first-degree senior black belt.
First degree senior black belt. That's a pretty big deal. I don't want to get on your bad side because you could put a
That's
hurting
for
on.
sure. That's for sure. That is for sure.
You're so much fun. All right, I've got a question for you. I don't know how closely you paid attention to The Lion King, but this question's all about that. In The Lion King, what is the name of Simba's mother? Is it A, Serafina, or C, Sarabi?
C, Sarabi.
C, Sarabi is correct. Congratulations to you. You just won 9 gift cards. What do you think about that?
I'm really happy.
You're really happy?
Keep the train rolling.
Keep the train rolling. I hear in the background. All right, so they will roll over to 12. Rain, you rock. Hey, you want to shout somebody out this morning just for the fun of it?
Grace.
Oh, what do you love about Grace?
She's always super funny.
Awesome. Awesome. You know what? I think you're pretty awesome too. So I hope you do have the best day ever. I'll talk with you soon, okay?
Okay,
All right.
bye.
Bye. Look at that. So now we have 12 gift cards up for grabs, and the anticipation will build for Monday morning's car line competition. We'll start off with 12 gift cards. what a way to start the week. Oh, it's going to be awesome. So that brings us to the end of today's car line competition. But you know what? We've got a whole lot of show left this morning. Plus, I want to let you know how you can hang out with us if you're away from your radio or outside of our listening area. It's real easy. All you have to do is go to 885jfm.com, click that On Now button, and press play. And we can keep you company all day long. Or if you can't do that, tell you what, you can catch up with what you missed over on the podcast. Yeah, today's episode will be up on Spotify and Apple Podcast at 10:30 this morning. All you have to do is go to either one of those platforms, that's Apple Podcasts or Spotify, and type in Lifeline Morning Show. It's going to be up there at 10:30 this morning. Sound good? All right. Well, hey, I got to play a song. This is by request. Somebody who wants to hear Brandon Lake's new one. It's called Sevens, and here it is. Good morning to you, Woodlawn, Alabama. I see you hanging out with us right now on the streaming map. You too, Madison and Albertville and Gunnersville. Thank you for making us a part of your day. Also, Joel Modis is with us down in Palm Coast, Florida. Hope you're having a wonderful morning so far, sir. And for those of you over in Germany, I hope your afternoon is going swell. I see you in Fuchenstein and Vogtland. Thanks for making us a part of your day. Faithful listeners right there. I keep seeing that pin show up on my map. Thank you for being here. Plus, I forgot to mention this yesterday. I saw Puerto Rico on our map. They had a little pin. They were listening from Puerto Rico yesterday. And a little later on this morning, I imagine our friends from Georgetown, Guyana, are going to be hanging out with us too. I've been noticing that pin the past couple days. So it still blows my mind to know that people can listen to us from wherever they are in the world. Canada has been listening lately. Isn't that crazy? Yeah, I've seen people from all over the U.S., from California, Oregon, different places across the map. And it excites me every time. You know why it excites me? Because you're the reason why I'm here in the studio. Whether you're listening on the stream, or maybe you're listening on the FM dial here locally in North Alabama, or maybe you're listening on the podcast way after the show. This is my opportunity to tell you, too, that, hey, we are so thankful for you. Thank you for hanging out. Now, let's get back to some great music, shall we? This one is by request. Mr. Richard Udi said, hey, could you play Crowder? And somebody prayed. Yes, sir. Yes, I can. This one goes out to you. Hope you're having a great one so far.
Every night there by your bed, you fold your hands and bow your head, throwing out another prayer in faith.
This is Pastor Larry Walls with your Drive Time Devotion. A young man was once working very hard as a section leader for a railroad company. His superiors noticed his hard work and offered him the opportunity to work in the shipping office for a few days, and he jumped at the chance for advancement. During that time, the superintendent asked the young substitute clerk for some vital facts and figures. Have them on my desk whenever I get back in 3 days, he said. The young man didn't know a single thing about bookkeeping, but he worked tirelessly 3 days and nights without sleep. When the superintendent returned from his trip in 3 days, he had the statistics ready and on his desk. Of course, the young man won the admiration of his superintendent, and as soon as the permanent position opened, he recommended the young man for the job. Over time, there were many promotions for the young man, and each time he was applauded for his thoroughness and his trustworthiness. The young man's hard work paid off. He became vice president of Ralston Purina Company in St. Louis, Missouri. Matthew 25:21 says, "You've been faithful and trustworthy over a little. I will put you in charge of much." Show me a man who cannot bother to do little things, and I'll show you a man who cannot be trusted to do big things. Give each difficult task and each mundane chore or request your best offer. You'll be rewarded not only according to the task that you complete, but for the way in which you complete them. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, our prayer today is that you give us the unction to function in the best of our ability for your glory, and all we do, help us to do even the little things and do them well. In the name of your Son, Jesus, we pray. Amen.
My wife shared something with me recently that totally flipped my parenting mindset upside down. As a parent and a foster parent, she looked at me and she said, "Have you ever heard this? They're not just giving you a hard time. They're having a hard time. They're just acting out what they can't put into words yet. Just love them through it.
Well, his 2 dream schools said, no, we're not going to accept you. Oh, that would crush anybody looking to go to college. But this guy decided to show his resilience and show how he could soldier through anyway, in a very unconventional way. You want to hear the whole story? Well, be here at the top of the hour. It's coming up next.
Born and raised under the rain and a western wind.
So earlier this morning, we talked about what it means to celebrate the slow wins, those quiet victories. They may not be flashy, but they're real. They're hard-earned, and they're yours. It's not how fast you go, but that you don't stop. That's today's inspiring quote. And you know what? It reminds me of a story. It's a little unconventional, but it'll stick with you. And I think you'll get something out of it. A young man named Aayam Bansal. He's a passionate, driven student from India. He had a dream to study at Harvard or Stanford. He poured his heart into it. The long nights, the exams, the essays, the pressure. But when decision letters came in, the answer was no from both schools. And look, that moment, that kind of rejection can crush someone, especially when it's your dream. When the whole world seems to define success by prestige and speed and titles. What do you do when you don't get there? But here's where the story turns. Instead of spiraling or shutting down, Aayam did something different. He celebrated a different kind of achievement. He shared that while he was waiting on those decisions, he was also working on something personal, something that tested his focus, his patience, his persistence. He earned the platinum trophy in the video game God of War, a feat that requires completing every challenge, every level, and unlocking every secret in the game. I know, you're thinking it's just a game, but here's the thing. It wasn't about the game. It was about what it represented. It was about not giving up, about following through, about proving to himself that his value wasn't tied to an acceptance letter. And when he shared his story online, thousands of people responded because so many of us are chasing things, waiting for big validation and feeling crushed. And we don't get it. But Aayam reminded us that progress is still progress, even if no one else applauds it. And today's word of life speaks directly to that, doesn't it? Job 8:7. And though you started with little, you will end with much. So let me ask you, what's a win that you've had this week, even if no one else sees it? Maybe it was showing up when you didn't feel like it. Maybe it was making that phone call. Maybe it was staying patient when you really wanted to quit. Well, don't wait for Harvard to say yes. You've already come further than you think. So slow down for just a moment today and celebrate your quiet victory. It matters. You matter. And God is using even the unseen progress to lead you somewhere incredible. Hey, you want to share your victory with me? That one that you've had this week? I want to hear all about it. So call me, 256-505-0885, okay? I'd love to hear from you. Or if you'd rather text, it's 256-967-0885. I want to celebrate with you. Here's Big Daddy Weave with Let It Begin.
For the damage done, for the victories won, for the gift and for the grieving, letting go and moving on.
I got to let you in on a little something that went down yesterday on the sidelines at a soccer game. Yeah, my daughter Grace, she's 10. She loves playing soccer, and they were starting their tournament last night. So there we were. And they were on the field. And they were giving it their all. And something that happened before the game even started, before we even left the house, one of Grace's friends called and said, hey, if I have somebody drop me off, could I hang out with y'all and watch Grace play? We're like, yeah, sure. Sounds good. Bring a chair. So she did. And so Ella sat beside me as we were watching the game. And then we had some other friends show up. And so Maggie, which is about the same age as Ella and Grace, well, she grabbed a chair and she sat up behind us. We were all talking a little bit. And you see, Ella, she loves to write. She loves to jot things down. And so she uses her phone. She had written a story. and she wanted me to take a look at it. If I wanted to read it, I could. I'm like, oh, okay, I can do that. How about I read it out loud? And because it was from the perspective of a girl about Ella's age, I used a different kind of voice. Oh my, I did this kind of voice right here. And let me tell you, that brought so many giggles between her and Maggie behind us. Oh my, it was so much fun. I helped her with a few parts and pieces where she I think she was talking into the phone. And so it was a few stops and starts that she had to clean up a little bit, but we got all the way through it. And I enjoyed that so much because I love using these little voices, you know? So I got to do that. And then she said, hey, I've got another one. You want to read it? And this one, I started off with a different kind of voice, right? I started off with a more regal kind of voice, like this, yes. But she didn't want that. She said, you got to sound country. So I said, all right, let's do it like this then. And so I started reading that story in this voice right here. Oh, so much fun. That one had to wait until halftime because I kind of got a little too into it. I was doing more reading and you know, using the voice than I was watching my own child on the field. I get caught up in stuff like that, but we had a good time. Oh, and by the way, if you're wondering how the game went, my daughter's team won, so they get to advance to the next game, and weather permitting, it's going to be on Saturday morning, so we'll see how it all goes down. But it was exciting. They haven't won many games this year at all, and they just won the first game of the tournament. So we are super excited about that, and who knows what else I might be asked to read on the sideline. I think Ella's coming to the next game too, so we'll see if she's written anything between now and then. But I love going to those games, and those kids, they're so much fun. All right, back to the music. I just wanted to share that with you. I thought I'd let you in on a little behind the scenes of what happens in my life. All right, I guess, hey, this song right here, I love it because Mikey Tyler's got such a cool voice anyway, but the whole idea of this song is just so good because, you know, sometimes we can't do it, but who can? You know exactly who can. Here he is to sing about it now.
You know I really tried so hard, but I couldn't make the waters part. Didn't matter how many times that I had said it. You know I couldn't save myself. It had to be someone else. And there's only one who's getting all of the credit. God did it.
Now, let's do some shouting out. Okay, I'm seeing Coleman, Alabama hanging out with us right now. I'm thinking that's Tommy Todd. Not 100% on that, but if it is, sir, good morning. And whoever it is, if it's not, good morning to you. Also, I already shouted out Joel Modis. He's with us in Palm Coast, Florida. We got some listeners down in a little west of Calera this morning. Also, North Alabama. Let's see, Madison, Gunnersville, Albertville. Oh, wow. Thanks for hanging out. You too, over in Germany. Here's Avalon.
All the colors of the rainbow, all the voices of the wind.
This one goes out to Jesse Martin. It's Zach Williams and Chainbreaker.
If you've been walking the same old road for miles and miles.
Bad habits are terrible. They are so hard to break, but a good habit, well, that just might change the game. It might. With a little more on this, I came across Phil. He's really got a grasp on this whole concept, so I want him to talk to you about it. This one really opened my eyes. Take a listen.
I heard a quote recently that I thought was so good. This witty Christian influencer named Sam Johnson, who wrote a dictionary in the mid-1700s, once said, "Chains of habit are too weak to be felt until they are too strong to be broken." You know, bad habits are hard to break, aren't they? But good ones, they're hard to build. James Clear, in his book Atomic Habits, he puts it like this: you do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. You know, we are what we repeatedly do. To live with a spirit of excellence like the Bible says about Daniel, we must build habits that become second nature. First we form habits, then they form us. I've been talking lately about renewing our minds. You know, habits are just an ignition switch of our thoughts repeated until we are running on autopilot. Remember the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey? One of those habits, he says, was to begin with the end in mind. He's credited with this timeless truth. Sow a thought, reap an action. Sow an action, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap a character. Sow a character, reap a destiny. You know, if that's true, then our destiny begins with a thought. A 24-year-old young man named John, who once stuttered like Moses and became a motivational speaker, wrote a powerful poem called I Am Habit. I am your constant companion. I am your greatest helper or heaviest burden. I will push you onward or drag you down to failure. I am completely at your command. Half the things you do, you might just as well turn over to me, and I will be able to do them quickly and correctly. I'm easily managed. You must merely be firm with me. Show me exactly how you want something done, and after a few lessons, I will do it automatically. I am the servant of all great people, and alas, of all failures as well. Those who are great, I have made great. Those who are failures, I have made failures. I'm not a machine, though I work with all the precisions of a machine plus the intelligence of a human. You may run me for profit or run me for ruin. It makes no difference to me. Take me, train me, be firm with me, and I will place the world at your feet. Be easy with me, and I will destroy you. Who am I? I am habit. Proverbs 23:7 says, as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. That's not from a psychology book, that's scripture. Father, help us to renew our mind to your truth so that we can form good, godly habits and live out a destiny that's designed and assigned for us for your glory in Jesus' name.
Good morning to you, Wheezy. Thanks so much for reaching out. This one goes out to you.
You go out of your way to make me feel like I'm the one you love.
Let's make it a Wheezy twofer this morning. Here's Samantha Ebert with Flowers, with a little help from Seth Schleter, right here on the Lifeline Morning Show.
Well, blue skies and hillsides feel so far away. And I wrote in my notebook that I've seen better days than the ones as of late. I can't bear the weight.
I'm getting kind of excited because a little milestone has crept upon us, and I'll tell you more about it coming up at about 9:15 this morning. But this is a pretty cool one. This is one that has just flown by, and here we are again. So stick around, find out what I'm talking about. But for now, hey, let's get you back to some great music. How about the best news ever? Yeah, Mercy Me sings about that. So here you go. Every now and then, after I pick up my daughter Grace from school, we'll be sitting in the truck, riding home, and we'll try to come up with things that rhyme. You could say it's kind of us practicing freestyle rap, right? So let's lay down a little bit of a rap beat here and see what we can do. Yeah, all right, come on, bass. Let's do it. Oh, yeah. Okay, so I'm not really going to rap for you, not at all. I can't do that as good as Toby Mac does. But I can tell you this, that every now and then when I'm going around the house and I'm vacuuming or I'm doing dishes or I'm folding the laundry, I'll have a song stuck in my head. So I might start singing a little bit. I might start humming. You know how it is. Now, sometimes do I come up with my own lyrics? Not very often, but sometimes I do. Yeah, depends on how angry I am at the time. Do you ever angry clean? It's definitely a thing. Yeah, you gotta be careful with the lyrics on that one. But anyway, here's a guy who doesn't rap. No. See, he's more of a jazz singer, and he does come up with little ditties around the house. Here's one. He was cleaning out the fridge. What do you think that sounds like? Well, here.
How sour can sour cream be? Also, when did I end up with 3? I clean out the fridge only when I look in and see something staring back at me. Should I dare even look at the cheese? Oh, the smell could bring a rhino to its knees. Is this blue cheese or cheddar? And is sour cream better in 3s?
Yes, indeed. Yeah, sour cream is better in 3s. Same problem at my house. If it's not the tub of sour cream, it's the little squeeze pouch of sour cream. And why is it always out of date? And besides that, how sour can sour cream be? That's a really good question he started that off with. Because if it gets old in the fridge, does it get more sour? Well, then does that mean that it's better? So it's more sour cream? Something to think about. This day in history takes on brand new significance this morning. Find out how after this.
Good God Almighty, I hope you'll find me praising your name no matter what comes.
Well, good morning and welcome to This Day in History, a chance for us to look back on yesteryear to celebrate some milestones and some achievements and the movers and shakers who brought us this far. So, what happened on this day in history? Well, it was on this day in 1770. Louis, the French dauphin, marries Marie Antoinette, daughter of Austrian Archduchess Maria Theresa and Holy Roman Emperor Francis I at Versailles. 4 years later, King Louis and Queen were established. So Marie Antoinette, I just thought you've heard that name through history. Here's a date you can attach to him, 1770, on this day, May 16th. Also in 1862, Frenchman Jean-Joseph Etienne Lenoir built the first gas-fueled internal combustion engine. And here we are all these years later, still using it. On this day in 1866, the first 5-cent piece was ordered here in the United States. Yep, it was ordered to be made of nickel and copper, yet it's called the nickel these days. Still around. On this day in 1888, inventor Emil Berliner, a German immigrant to the U.S., demonstrated the first modern phonograph record. This flat grooved device was easier to duplicate than the cylindrical recorder developed by Thomas Edison. Also, it was on this day in 1925, Arthur Atwater Kent called his wife, Mabel Lucas Kent, in a car in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, as he flew in a blimp called the Los Angeles. It was history's first air-to-ground telephone call. That's pretty cool. Also, it was on this day in 1975 that Junko Taibei of Japan became the first woman to reach the summit of Mount Everest, the highest mountain in the world. It was first ascended in May 1953 by a party that included Edmund Hillary of New Zealand and Sir John Hunt. So the first woman to reach the summit, this day in 1975. It was also on this day in 1986 that Top Gun was released in theaters, making Tom Cruise an international star. It was on this day in 1831 that David Edward Hughes was born, the English inventor of the microphone and the teleprinter. It was because of him that I'm able to sit in the studio and talk with you through this microphone. How cool is that? It was also on this day in 1953 that Pierce Brosnan was born. Yeah, pretty cool stuff. Oh, and Janet Jackson was born on this day in 1966. So there you have it, this day in history. But I told you there's something special about this day in history. Yes, and it's this. Today marks 1 year that we've been doing This Day in History. How do I know? Because when I got this book from the Right Reverend Larry Walls, who gifted it to me, by the way, I took a pencil and I started marking the things that I wanted to talk about. Because, to be honest, there's some really bad history in this book, too. I skip over that stuff and I give you the good stuff, okay? So I'll kind of mark it with my pencil. I'll circle things. I'll put squares around it. And that's how I know today is 1 year, because it's the one with marks on it. And from here on out, yep, it's all marked up. So now I get to find extra things to talk about on this day in history, because let's face it, history is happening every day. Ooh, that'll preach. Okay, let's bring this down a little bit and then close the book and remind you of the simple truth There are many facts and figures all written throughout this book, excerpts of people's lives and how they impacted the world around them, how they changed the culture, how they did indeed make history. And what an idea to be remembered by people who never knew you for the good history that you made. Wow, that's a humbling deal. And I wish that for you. I hope that your good history is written in a book like this. But can I tell you, even if it's not, I can tell you where it's being written every single day. It's on the hearts and in the minds of every person you come in contact with and how you make them feel. So I wonder if you take a challenge with me that I like to take every day at this time. It's this. Let's resolve to make good history today, so that when others think of us, they get a smile on their face, a little extra warmth in their heart. What do you think? Can you take that challenge with me? Can you rise to the occasion? Yeah, I knew you could. You're pretty awesome like that. Thanks for hanging out with me here on the Lifeline Morning Show. More great music headed your way. How about a little bit of Emerson Day? And God ain't finished yet.
This ain't how the story ends. I've got a hope, a future with purpose. I woke up and I'm breathing again. So God ain't finished yet.
Been having a little conversation with Wheezy over on the texting app, and she posed this question. Because, we were talking about habits earlier. She said, I start out every day with good habits, but come late afternoon, the bad habits creep in and take over. Grr. Is it just me? And I said, well, what kinds of bad habits are we talking about? She said, junk food, hours of screen time, just laziness. I said, I think we all deal with those. You're okay. Oh, Wheezy. Thank you for reaching out. Thanks for that conversation. You know what? That brings a lot of light to how we all feel sometimes. It's like we start off with this great ambition, this great idea. Hey, today's going to be a great day. I'm going to do everything I can. And then about midway through the day, you start tuckering out a little bit. You start getting a little tired. It's like, I'm just not feeling it anymore. So, yes, these things are a comfort to us. The screen time, the junk food. What's your junk food of choice? Here lately, I've been trying to do better with my junk food. So my junk food has been crackers, like the butter crackers, almost like the Captain's wafers. I've been eating some of those. And Dairy Queen has this new Blizzard. It's the it's a dipped strawberry cheesecake Blizzard. I've kind of been on one of those kicks lately. I gotta watch it though, so I only get the small. I don't get the medium, I don't get the large, I don't get the mini either. I get the small. It's just right. So, oh, by the way, let me just tell you this, okay? Since we're talking about this Blizzard, I made a mistake 2 nights ago. Because, see, my wife and daughter, they were on their way back home from Tumble, and I asked if maybe she could stop and get me one of these Blizzards, but I thought, well, let's try it without the chocolate in it, because it's got little chocolate chunks, almost like little shards of the chocolate shell, like they put on the outside of the cone. Instead of that, let's try peanut butter. And can I tell you? Instant regret. It's terrible. Strawberry cheesecake with peanut butter and vanilla ice cream is no good at all. I do not suggest it. I don't recommend. So I learned my lesson. Keep the recipes. Just stick with the standards, Stephen. You don't need to start concocting anything because, it was awful. Did I eat it? Regretfully, yes. Yes, I did. But that's beside the point. I would not recommend that little combination. So there's that. Thanks for hanging out with me here on the Lifeline Morning Show. I think I have revealed too much more than I intended to. So let's get to some business and ministry impact partners, some weather, and some word of life. Shall we? Now, how about some Cain with Friend in Jesus? All right, let me play that. And while I'm getting it started, I want to say a big good morning to our friends listening right now over just a little northeast of Atlanta, Georgia.
You don't need a savior if you don't know sin and shame.
It's that time of the morning for us to check in with a good friend of ours. His name is Brian Trent from Hampton, South Carolina, where he pastors the Lighthouse Church. He and his family are all across the socials under this handle, Trent Tribe TrentTribe. That's how you can find them. I've been following them for over a year now. I'm glad that I have, because every day it's something new. And this morning, it's good. Take a listen.
Tear the roof off? Maybe that's what the church needs to do. Because about 12 years ago, I knew our church needed a recovery program for our community. So I visited one to see what we needed to do. A few hundred people gathered together, ate a meal, sang a few songs, and then broke off into these smaller groups. The one that I went in was made up of 19 men, and one by one, those men began to be so transparent with each other that it scared me. I went home, I told my wife that we aren't ready for that at our church. I'm not even sure we ever will be. See, I guess my idea of being the church was not meeting people where they were, but more like getting together and pretending we're okay while we all sing a few songs, listen to a sermon, and go to the house. You see, looking back, I realized those guys in that recovery group were tearing the roof off like the guys did for their friend in Luke chapter 5. They were getting that guy to Jesus no matter what. And when they lowered him down into the presence of Jesus, that man come just as he was, sickness and all. But because someone was willing to tear the roof off, he walked out of the room he was lowered into. Church, it's time to tear the roof off. Because when the color of the carpet matters more than the person standing on it, then we've stopped being the church. It's time to tear the roof off of all our traditions and walls. It's time to be real with each other so we can bring the broken into the presence of Jesus. It's time to tear the roof off. Love you.
That one's super powerful. Have you ever been to one of those Celebrate Recovery get-togethers? You know, my wife Cassie and I, we used to actually lead worship for one in Arab at Liberty Church years ago. We came in, found out they needed a drummer and a singer, and so we're like, yeah, come on, let's go. So I have seen so many people's lives changed. It's just been amazing. And I got to witness it every week. It was so cool. But you know, there's one thing I learned when I was going to Celebrate Recovery. It was this. Everybody deals with hurts, habits, and hang-ups. It doesn't have to be addiction to a drug. It doesn't have to be that you fall prey to alcoholism. It doesn't have to be just that. It's all kinds of things. And let me tell you, there's a lot of help there. There's a lot of hope there. There's a lot of learning about who God says that you are there. So, if you've never ever considered going to a Celebrate Recovery group because you're thinking, oh, it's just not for me, give it a try sometime. You might be pleasantly surprised at just how for you it really is. Yeah, you meet a lot of cool people too. All right, more great music headed your way. I got Zach Williams with Old Church Choir right here, right now.
There's revival and it's spreading like a wildfire in my heart.
So close to a big round number this morning. We've kissed the 70s already. We thought maybe we could kiss the 80s by the end of the show, but so far we are just 1 degree away because Huntsville's sitting at 79 degrees. But don't worry, I'm doing just a little more research real quick, and I'll do it live with you here on the radio with me because I'm really anticipating this. I'm hoping that maybe we could kiss the 80s. Let's check our other temperature sources here and see if maybe, just maybe, we got a big round number. This is going to be a huge letdown if we can't. But I'm waiting on my computer to catch up. You ever have that problem? Your computer just decides to take its precious time. Yeah, it's like getting in a hurry in the middle of downtown Arab. Don't do it. Ain't nobody going to get out of your way. You just might as well go with the flow. So I'm going to go with the flow. But my computer's just not flowing. So what do? I sit here and just patiently wait? Sure, let's do that. But while I'm waiting, I might as well tell you who's bringing you your forecast. It's Don Abbott and the whole team at One Team Heat Sales, Maintenance, and Repair. They're online at oneteamhvac.com, and their phone number is 256-660-0950. And now, I guess, let's talk a little bit about your word of life, and then we'll check that temperature, see if maybe we can kiss the 80s. This morning, it's short, it's sweet, it's to the point, but let me tell you something. There's a lot of background here, okay? So I would encourage you to go and read this whole chapter of Job, chapter 8. This is from verse 7. It says, "And though you started with little, you will end with much." It sounds like a pretty big thing here, right? Because going from little to much sounds like progress. It sounds like growth, but all the stuff that was in between. all the things that Job went through to get to the much. It was a lot. But guess what? He made it. And that gives me hope. It should give you hope too, especially if you're in the middle of a struggle right now, that God is going to see you through. And there are great things on the other side. Yeah, you just got to keep up the good work, okay? All right, now let's check those temperatures. Am I seeing a big 80? I'm seeing a 77 and a 74. I'm seeing a 76 and a 73. Alas, I'm not seeing a big 80. I'm sorry. I couldn't pull it off this time. But maybe next time. Who knows? Maybe next week we'll have a 2-kiss kind of morning on Monday. I thought maybe I'd give it one more shot. So let's do that. If my computer will cooperate with me. If there's one person who's sitting in the 80s, I'm thinking I'm knowing who it is because he's hanging out with us every morning from all the way down there in Palm Coast, Florida. His name is Joel Modis. And oh my, Joel, you are our saving grace today, sir, because you are kissing. Oh my. Let's do it again. One more time. Yeah, kissing the 85-degree mark. Woohoo! Nice and warm down there. I hope you're soaking in the sunshine there on the beach. Sir, thank you so much for making us a part of your day. I'm so glad that worked out. I had to find a way to kiss the 80s. So, hey, let's get you back to a song, and I'll be back to close out the show. Hard to believe we're already there. Wow. Your inspiring quote. A little recap coming up next. Thanks so much for hanging out with me, even when my computer is being weird.
My feet are frozen on this middle ground.
Well, the time has come for me to bid you adieu. But before I do, I'd like to share with you an inspiring quote. In fact, some might say it's the most inspiring quote of the day. Oh, it's so good. And you know what? It's so fitting for right now, where we are in this week. Because as we get ready to head into the weekend, I want to leave you with one final reminder, something simple, but powerful enough to change how you view your own journey. It's not how fast you go, but that you don't stop. Read that again in your heart. It's not how fast, it's that you don't stop. That's it. Not perfection, not pace, persistence. Because when you look back on this week, maybe you didn't crush every goal. Maybe you didn't get that call back. Maybe the breakthrough didn't happen yet. But listen, you didn't stop, and that's worth celebrating. Some of the most powerful moments in your life won't come with spotlights or applause. They come in the quiet, when you choose to keep going. When you show up, when you take another step, even when you're tired of the climb. And though you started with little, you will end with much. Remember that word of life? That's God's promise. And friend, I believe it for you today. So before we close this chapter of this week, I want to ask you to do something that most people don't take time to do. 1, acknowledge the quiet win. 2, celebrate the little progress. And 3, name one thing you did this week that mattered, even if no one saw it. I'll see you back here on Monday. Have a great weekend. And now a little message just for you listening on the podcast. Thank you for making this part of your day. Would you share it with somebody who needs a little inspiration and encouragement? I would greatly appreciate it. I'll see you back here on Monday.